my family, and we really appreciate it. That's it for now. Thank you for watching, and until next time, I'll see you later. I ended last year releasing a video declaring my current stance against generative AI in art and content. And after all the AI slop and build up in 2025 and leading into a new year, my hunger to paint, to make real, tangible art is stronger than it's ever been. In that video, I talked about how I made this oil painting, not for content, but for my wife's birthday, and how that was a really meaningful experience. But I also had this feeling that I have every time I use oil paints, the thought, the wish that I want to do more of it. Then I have these subconscious reminders or feelings that I can't. But why not? Can I? Why? Why not? Let's talk about it. 2026 will mark my 14th year on YouTube. Oh my God, I'm old. And in that time, I have made over 1,545 videos on this YouTube channel. But of those videos, I've used oil paint in roughly only 25 videos. That is around 1.5% of my content lineup. And of those, 12 of them were Bob Ross videos. 5 of them were thrift shop customization challenges. 4 of them were very gimmicky challenge style videos. And in terms of actually exploring the medium itself, there were only 3 where I actually sort of tried new things and tried to learn a few things about the medium in oil sticks or making my own oil paint or trying different qualities of paint. And out of 1,545 videos, I have done one video where I painted an oil painting that I wanted to do. And in that video, I frankly did it out of frustration at the time limits and constraints that I was feeling. I was also in a bit of a depressive period at the time, and I just thought, screw it, I'm going to do something I want to do right now, but I still only had 4 hours to paint it, because that is one of the frustrating constraints I have as a content creator. So after 14 years and 1,500 videos on YouTube, I haven't made a single oil painting where I have the chance to find my own style, or where I don't have a ridiculous time constraint or a silly challenge. They've all been painted in under a day with a single layer of oil paint, and mostly following other people's approach to painting. So with a few weeks of holiday break since that last video and entering the new year, on my mind was the question, what is my first video back? What comes next? After closing out the year with a clear stance against generative AI in art, I've said what I will not do. And I want to also clearly pledge that I and my team will be committed to producing art and content without the use of generative AI. And coming back to making content in the new year, I can't help but think what I do want to do. So you know what, I've put up with enough crap that I don't want, whether it be in generative AI or algorithms that have no idea what actually would serve me or my interests. In this video, I'm going to treat myself and you with a little bit of what I love and want to do. I love playing with new creative toys. I mean, in the beginning, that is kind of what AI felt like it was to me before I changed my views and the way things have evolved. But I have always loved and still love playing with new art tools and mediums. And oil paint has always been one of those things I've wanted to explore deeply. But by virtue of being a YouTuber with a production schedule, I just haven't been able to. So I got myself a little Christmas present. For over a decade on this channel, I've used the same cheap, crappy, wobbly easel and worked in temporary, messy setups because at the end of the day, oil painting was just something I would set up for a quick video and pack up shortly after. But I've decided to give myself the equipment so I feel like oil painting could be that treat I can give myself. A sanctuary that's organized, satisfying, something I could care for and wear and stain with use and time. I really want to do more painting. Not Bob Ross, not a challenge or a gimmick. In a world of slop, more than ever, I feel like I just want to be a part of making content and art that feels intentional and passion-fueled. And I just love the feeling of oil at the end of my brush. That is as real as art has ever felt to me. The way it slows me down, takes me somewhere else, actually forces me to step back, look with new eyes, and feeds my want to share that experience with other people. But that's what I've always wanted to do. Not paint specifically, but all my life exploring creativity, it's my purpose. So much so that I refused to get a real job. I've never had a real job except for when I was a teenager and realized it wasn't for me. I chose instead to find a way to turn my art into a profession. And I found that on YouTube. I built a creative career and a studio on this platform by sharing art. And with over 14 years on YouTube, it's been an effort of walking the balance between making content for the machine, for the business, and for my own creative soul and for this community. And that process, that balance, has gone through various iterations. Now, when deciding what to do for my first video in 2026, I knew I wanted to oil paint, but I felt like I shouldn't. That would be the wrong thing to do as a YouTuber. At the end of the day, on YouTube, I'm creating content on a platform that is much louder than it used to be. And a failed video, one that doesn't get clicks or hold attention, is way more punished algorithmically than it ever used to be. So the pull as a content creator to be big and loud and ostentatious is stronger than it's ever been, and yet audiences are just weary, not only from being overwhelmed by content, but from being advertised to. But it's also become a necessity to function in terms of just running a basic business. So for example, I knew I had to promote this sale that I'm running on my website to keep things running over the holiday period when we're not actively making content for YouTube. At the end of the day, people are being so advertised to, the result of that is even more exhaustion for the viewers. And from my standpoint, I don't love doing it. It frankly feels uncomfortable, but it's also a necessity. 3 weeks, 50% off of all digital products on the JAZZA'S.com shop. I guess all of this is to say, in coming back to making content, I feel that really frustrating pull in multiple directions, and so many ways that pull away from my want and needs as a creative person. I knew I wanted to paint, but I knew I have to try and make it clickable, which already feels like a losing battle on this platform, and that I need to promote my sale, which isn't the purpose of this video, but that requirement forces the concept to fit around it. The point is, in today's day and age, and especially in content, creating art for the sake of art really feels out of the question. I know you don't want to be advertised to. I get it. I feel the same. We just want to paint or draw or sculpt or do big, dumb, ambitious things that we regret but are also glad we did because that's who we are. But to do that, to paint what we want to paint, to make the games, to write the stories, to bring ideas of our imagination to the world, we have to dance this dance. And it feels grosser than it ever has because this space we share, the internet, is less about art and exploration than it has ever been before. But for many of us, that was the magic of what brought us here in the first place. Which has me wondering, not only for this video that I'm making, but for this channel and for the creative spaces we want to claim in 2026 and moving forward, especially in the face of AI, how do we make a place for art and creativity in a world that seems to be moving away from it or requiring it to be sold, packaged, or commodified? Well, for one, we fight for it. We decide to do the thing, even if it won't likely be rewarded. Like I am in this video, I'm taking a risk, and I know it's really unlikely to get great views, but my soul wanted to spend a day painting something and to feel my way through my own style in a medium I've wanted to dive into a bit deeper. And right now, I'm choosing to do that, even though it feels like the world right now doesn't want me to. I will claim the space to nourish as much authentic creativity as I can. In a way, it's always been like this. We have this romantic idea of a true artist. Michelangelo, Leonardo da Vinci, creating breathtaking artworks to inspire and uplift generations of artists, but every single artwork they made was funded, either by patrons or a commissioner, the Roman Catholic Church, the Medici family, other Italian dudes. These are really the people responsible for enabling the artists and artworks we revere. But even when it wasn't a church or a rich, noble family, art has always needed funding. Even Vincent van Gogh, who is one of the most beautiful, tragic, revered figures in art and expressionism, he didn't get to just make art because he wanted to. He still needed to pay for it, and he couldn't afford it. And thank goodness he had a brother who loves him. Honestly, Theo van Gogh doesn't get enough love in Vincent's story. For those of us who were born with the need to create, that has always come with the need to finance that creativity or work within the constraints of a culture or a marketplace that seem to dictate what we can and cannot create. Artists who fight for the ability to create as they wish often find themselves in a field adjacent to their passion. They might become teachers or commercial artists, which always obligates them to things that are not the things they want to make. And even the lucky few who find they can create what they want, it's because they found an audience to sell it to, and then still need to work within the confines of a marketplace and its own commercial realities. So I guess in a really weird and long-winded way, what I'm trying to say is for my first video in 2026, I wanted to paint and I wanted to share that with you. And I want to do more painting. Last year, I did a lot of VR sculpting and 3D printing. Today, I feel that want for paint. Tomorrow, it might be more paint, but it might be foam or leatherwork, wood or glass. I mean, is 2026 the year of paint on this channel? Maybe, maybe not. But I want it to be a year of intentionality. I want every video I make and share to be one with passion and authenticity at its core. Even if there's a sponsorship or promotion, because that's how we keep the lights on. I want you to know that these are things I think bring good to the world and to creatives, and also that I'm incredibly grateful for because they enable me and my team to continue to make art, real, human art. In a world that is idolizing and elevating shortcuts and results more than ever before, I want this to be a place where we, together, care about the journey. There will be victories, there will be failures, there will be occasionally clickbaity approaches by necessity of the platform, but there will always be the core of passion and genuine interest in being creative together, in creating a journey that is real and human and shared. I wish more than anything I had more time. I wish I could do this without the need to make it fit a YouTube thumbnail or to sell something effectively. But those are things I don't have any real control over, not if I want to keep doing this as a career. And now more than ever, it's a career that I and other artists have to continue to fight for. In a world filling with artificial slop where art feels no longer valued by the platforms that distribute it, I will care about what I make, and I will make this channel and my content a place you can return to and trust that everything you see was made by humans with the earnest goal of pursuing creativity and exploring it with you, in spite of and against all of the challenges and boundaries and restrictions that are in our way. Because at the end of the day, that's what it has always meant to be an artist. And I'm incredibly grateful to be doing that here with you and moving forward into 2026. I started this video not knowing what I was gonna paint and just really feeling my way through it. And I ended up creating an artist surrounded by a fairly gloomy world, filling with slop, but determinedly painting a window into their own desires, their own world, their own imagination. And that is how I feel when I do something like this. And I wanna create that feeling for you, for my viewers who, in a very noisy, increasingly sloppy world, want the experience of art and connection and sanctuary. Now, not all videos can be like this. And in fact, I have been late to releasing my first video because I took my time and did the best that I could and got lost in the creative process. But that is a luxury I cannot do in every video, just because I have to fund my studio, my channel, my family, my employees. But I did it here, and I'm gonna do it wherever I can in whatever ways that I can. And I really hope you've enjoyed coming on that journey with me. And if that matters to you, if this sort of speaks to you, there are ways you can help support that, which I know this is the part where people click off and sort of go to other videos, but it's hard to even describe how much the people who fund and empower art and artists matter to the whole equation. And how grateful artists like me are, and especially in a world that values them less and less, will forever be for those who back us. So the sale I have extended because I've been late to upload this video. It's going to run for one more week, 50% off of all digital products. You can go check that out at the JAZZA'S.com shop, link in the description. Bunch of really cool guides. There's Photoshop brushes, which you can also use in Procreate and Clip Studio Paint, video courses, ebooks, loads of stuff. Then of course there's Patreon, which is like the purest way to be someone who funds the arts for the sake of art itself. There is so much more I would dream of exploring. Things like marble sculpture, bronze casting, fresco, CNC machining, iron and steel and blacksmithing. The list could go on forever, but the budget certainly can't. And the way things are on YouTube at the moment, I cannot pave the way to funding projects like that. Just at the moment, we're just treading water, and it is only through your support that things like that would be possible. The exploration of real, tangible art that I can bring and present to you all and bring you all in on that process is really only possible through your support. And anyone who is or becomes a patron, I'm extremely grateful. I'm also updating it so our second tier up, which is our behind the scenes tier, is gonna get a little bit more, because in a piece like this, in a video like this, I actually didn't talk about the process, but there is a lot to say. There's a lot that I wanted to try and tried for the first time and have a lot of thoughts and feelings on that this sort of video and YouTube in general doesn't facilitate anymore. But if you become a patron at the behind the scenes tier, aside from getting your weekly early previews to videos and the weekly behind the scenes vlogs for projects or videos like this, I will actually make a tutorial style explanation as to what the technical process was. So I've actually done this for this painting, and patrons can now go check out the technical process that I followed, from the underpainting to the 3 layers that I followed. And last but not least, and I really don't do this often, and maybe this is something I should do a bit more of, I'm going to sell some art. Especially when the world and marketplaces are flooded with AI art, I think the way we counterbalance that is we offer real art. So I am selling this piece as a signed print on the JAZZA'S.com shop for a limited time. It will be a hand-signed print by me sent directly to you, and I also will be auctioning off the original artwork. The auction will be running just for a week or two all over on the JAZZA'S.com shop, so check that out. And a huge thank you to anyone who supports my work in any way. And that includes those who don't have the budget or the means to back what we do financially. The fact that you have watched all the way to this part in the video actually really matters to YouTube and its algorithms. The fact that you click like or subscribe or engage in any way lets these algorithms know this is the kind of thing you want in your feed, and that matters a great deal in today's day and age. So thank you, sincerely. I have exciting stuff coming up this year, but I guess I just wanted to send the message loud and clear right up front at the very beginning of 2026. We are gonna art the crap out of this year. It's gonna be fun, it's gonna be real and human and challenging in all sorts of ways. And I can't wait to be on that journey with you. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, I'll see you later.